Hey, Jeff, welcome back. We missed you.
Well, I appreciate that, but I feel like we really should be singing "Welcome Back," I.e., like "Welcome Back, Cotter," because you're back in the thick of it, aren't you?
Oh my gosh, the thick of it is an understatement. Yeah, day three back with students in the classroom. And oh man, the first week, it's easy because we're not hitting the books too hard yet. But man, it's just a lot of, remembering what we forgot and getting back in
Mhm.
the swing of things. It's not easy.
Day 3 of week 1, and that's been the theme because I was, quote, unquote, "back to school" over the weekend doing a professional development event for a great academy in, of all places, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Tuscaloosa. It makes me wanna buy a vowel. I keep having to double check
There
how to
are a
spell
few.
it.
Yep,
Well,
yep.
let's start with you because I think you had such a fantastic experience across the country bringing the Wisdom of Walt magic to school districts and leaders out there. And let's talk about that and how that influenced what you wrote about this week.
Yeah, so I, having been in education for more than 2 decades, get an opportunity to speak, to teachers and educational institutions quite a bit, and that's what happened over the weekend. Private school, again, in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and the trip was interesting because, first of all, I've been to Tuscaloosa one time, and that was when I was in college. And I was 19 years of age and in the middle of the summer trying to catch up from having started late. A friend of mine decided we were done with classes and we wanted to take a road trip and head to Atlanta. And I was finally going to enjoy my very first professional baseball game. And that took us through Tuscaloosa. And being back 43 years later, if my math is right, I couldn't help but think of, everything I've done and all the places I've been since the last time. And, just when you think you've arrived, I
Mm.
land in Birmingham and go to pick up my rental car and discover that I have booked my rental car for, yes, Birmingham, but unfortunately, Birmingham, United Kingdom. And all of a sudden, I am back in school. All of a sudden, I am 19 years old and have gone nowhere. And then I heard an amazing story over dinner that night of, a gentleman almost the exact age as me who loved going to Walt Disney World as a kid, but didn't know that Walt Disney was a real guy. And then he started hearing the name Walt Disney, and his first thought was, "Oh my gosh, how amazing is it that this person got named for my favorite place?" And, it was just a reminder that we're all still in school and you're never behind. I felt behind at 19 because, again, I was a year late in college and had not been to a professional baseball game. I hadn't even been on an airplane yet at that point.
That's
And,
crazy.
the truth of the matter is, we're on the right path. We're on the right course. And, Walt doesn't get past ninth grade in his formal education, and then he's bankrupt at age 21 and loses his first successful cartoon character. I mean, how many times do you think he felt behind, right?
Oh my God.
And then, my favorite part of being with those wonderful educators on Friday was their excitement and their joy in giving me a tour of the campus
Mm.
and their Disney-themed classrooms.
The
And I mean,
pictures you sent were so adorable.
they were all
I
in.
to go to
They were
school,
all in.
Tuscaloosa.
The Nemo classroom, Merlin classroom, Mary Poppins classroom, and, as I said in the blog, Dumbo my favorite because, well, Dumbo is my favorite, and, a reminder that teachers more often than not are, they play the role of Dumbo's feather, and, they help us soar in ways that we already can, we just don't know it or realize it yet. And so
Yeah.
I got really excited for those kids who are, going to Tuscaloosa Academy this year, but even more so, all of us who are going back to school during this back to school season and are on the path of becoming, who we are ultimately destined to be.
Yeah, I love it. What a great and timely reminder, which you always do so well. And I had to chuckle because I made a very similar mistake when we purchased this a car. It was during COVID time where it was really difficult to get your hands on vehicles. And we ordered what my dream car was at the time, a Chevy Tahoe. And I was so excited because I found a great deal. And I thought, oh, it's in St. George. Like, that's just about a 2-hour drive north of Vegas. And, I told my husband we could make a fun weekend getaway out of it and it'll be great. And then I get a phone call to confirm the pickup of the vehicle. And this guy has the most Southern accent you could imagine. I thought, well, that's odd to come from Utah. And we quickly realized it was St. George, North Carolina, not St. George, Utah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I had a Birmingham moment
Yeah.
right
A
there with
Birmingham moment. Is that what we're calling it now? I love that.
instead of a
A
steamer
Birmingham
mill.
moment, a St. George moment. I worked with a woman 40 years ago, and her son had just joined the army, was going to be a chaplain, and his first station was Fort Bragg in North Carolina. And so she was excited. She was headed to see him and his family for Christmas. And she gets off the plane, not in Fayetteville, North Carolina, but
Mm,
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's worse. That one wins.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
I wrote about this a few years ago, but when Lindsay and I took the Disney cruise, the repositioning cruise up to Vancouver, I then booked us on Amtrak to
yeah.
Seattle, but I didn't book it from Vancouver, British Columbia. I booked it from Vancouver, Washington, and did not realize it until we got to the Amtrak station, and there was no train taking us to Seattle. So you got to be careful out there, boys and girls. It's crazy.
Oh, you got to double check your notes. I tell
You
you,
do.
never be
You
too
know,
careful.
it's almost as if, I can be a bit uncouth
Uh-oh.
when booking travel. You like that transition?
I hate that transition because even hearing that word, I get the chills, I get PTSD, and I go right back to my 5th grade class with Mrs. Holt at Doris French Elementary School. God rest her soul. I'm sure she's long gone by now. But yeah, I was one of those kids. Like, let's just be honest. If you know me, I like to talk. I got something to say all the time. I just don't always pick the right timing to talk. And as a kid, that was definitely no different. Pretty sure it was ADHD that was undiagnosed, and that's okay. But I spent a lot of time in the back of the classroom, or sometimes they would even move my desk into the hallway. I couldn't even be in the classroom. Did you think that kept me from talking? No, I would just have full on conversations with myself. But one day, my 5th grade teacher just had it up to here and said, "That's it, Kristin. You are going to define," or what did she say? I think she said, "You are the most uncouth person I've ever met." And I just kind of gave her this blank stare. And she goes, "Let me guess, you don't know what that means." And I said, "No, I don't." And so she made me go to the dictionary. Back then, we didn't have Google. I couldn't just go to the internet, and I had to look it up in the dictionary, which took me a while. And yeah, I discovered that it basically is somebody that is, not socially appropriate, that's kind of annoying, that doesn't know when to shut up. And it was a perfect depiction of who I was at the time.
What was your your picture next to the word uncouth there in the dictionary, Kristin Reinbold?
Listen here, remind me not to travel with you because I don't think we're ever going to get up.
Now, didn't you also then have to, like, write the word 100 times or something?
I did. I had to write the word and the definition
Ooh.
100 times. And I was mortified, but more than that, it stuck with me. I never could let that word go. In the old
Mm.
adage, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like, that's false. At least for me. It defined who I was before I got a chance to even think about who I was. And I spent a lot of years feeling like I didn't fit in and that I was too much and I wouldn't ever be successful because I have this character defect. And what I realized, the more that I've dove into being a writer myself, is that I, without knowing it, gave the pen to somebody else and let them write my ending. And
You let someone else define you and
yeah,
define you as uncouth.
absolutely. And that could be their opinion. And I bet being a teacher now, if I had a student like me, which sometimes I do, yeah, they're acting a little bit that way, but that's not who they are. And we have to remember
Right.
that. That's just how they're expressing themselves at the time because that's all they know. And like you said, we're always in a state of learning. And so now that I know better, I have to do better and I have to learn to keep my mouth shut. As you know, Jeff, is sometimes hard for me still to
I
this day.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we do share something in common, and that is I couldn't keep my mouth shut in class either. And I never got moved out into the hallway. I got moved like next to the teacher's desk so that,
Mm,
I would stay within arm's reach. So yeah. And I do remember um this was like a sixth grade thing.
mm.
Every week, Miss Music would come by for an hour.
Was she a music
And
teacher?
she was the music teacher, and you would think that that would be an hour to look forward to. Like, Miss Music
Mhm.
sounds fun, right? Oh,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Miss Music was a nightmare.
Was she like
If
Miss Nelson? Do you remember that book, that children's book? Miss
Yes,
Nelson Missing? Yep.
yes. Miss Music was Miss Nightmare, and if you misbehaved, if you acted out of turn, if, you spoke out, she would assign you a page in the dictionary that you had to copy like a monk in the Middle Ages,
The
verbatim
whole page?
word, and she picked a page that did not have a single picture.
No.
It was awful. Not that it ever happened to me, of course. It was
Of
awful.
course not. I think maybe Miss Music and Miss Holt went to the same school and learned how to be
It
teachers in the same.
I think they did, right?
I think they're like
So
best friends.
yeah,
Uh,
and so, as we head into August and back into the season of school, I know it's a challenge for you because 'cause you're in the classroom every single day,
mm,
and, it can be a challenge for me. I miss the start of school.
yeah,
I miss, um, that buzz on campus and, that excitement and that energy. And at the same time, I get to do what I love, like fly to Tuscaloosa and fire up teachers and, talk about the Disney way and the different Disney difference and, how you can bring that into your classroom and onto your campus and, really have a positive impact and influence on the students that you're seeking to serve each and every day. And, it's just a reminder that we're all learning. And, I think that's where Walt's success truly rested is, yeah, he didn't get past ninth grade in his formal education. And yet at the same time, he was incredibly humble and insatiably curious. And I know we talk about the other C's as well, courage and consistency and confidence. But man, did he ask good questions. And
yeah,
he challenged the status quo. And if we could teach our students to be more curious, followed up with a little more courage, a little more consistency, and a little more confidence, I think it would completely change education today.
absolutely. And that's really the heart, I think, of what our mission is here at the Wisdom of Walt is really to shake things up and get people to challenge the status quo and think at think of things differently, look at things through a different lens and with a different perspective, and then do something about it.
I
Keep that
agree.
mind going.
I agree. And, we also need to have the mission of getting a travel agent sponsor for the Wisdom of Walt so that people know who to reach out to so they don't end up
Right.
in the wrong city at the wrong time, be it St. George or Birmingham or Vancouver or Fayetteville or wherever.
Lord help us. So, all of our travel agent friends out there listening, please, please reach out to us. See if you can't help us
That's right.
before we get
And,
lost.
we'll see you real soon.
We'll see you guys real soon.